So for today's adventure, we're going to be doing something that I've wanted to do for a long time, several years. I'm going to be hiking up to LeConte Lodge. We're going to be doing that via the Alum cave trail. I'm at the parking lot right now. It's probably about 10 to 15 minutes before sunrise. I'm just starting from the truck because it's still kind of cold, and I'm just kind of waiting for the sun to come up, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit the trail. And I'm doing that to trying to avoid some of the traffic, because this is the most popular trail in this area right here. I think there are 4 or 5 other trails that you can take up there, or maybe it's 4 total. But anyway, this is by far the most popular one. So right here in the parking lot behind me, there are some bathrooms. If you ever do this, there are bathrooms here at the bottom. So if you use the restroom before you hit the trail, you can. There's going to be several lookout / vantage points / landmarks along the trail. Right now it's currently 39 degrees, and I think the high temperature for on top of the mountain is expected to be around the mid 40s to upper 40s will be the high, and then probably the high 30s to low 40s tonight. It will be a little warmer than that at the base here. I'm just going to kind of take my time with it. I know it's going to be tough. It's probably the longest hike I've done. I have done one hike that was 8 miles, 4 miles up and 4 miles back, and I did that in one setting. So this will be doing 5.5 miles up, and then we'll be staying overnight in the cabin, and then tomorrow we'll be hiking back down the same way back. So at least it's not in one setting, but it's still going to be tough. It's going to require lots of breaks. I've got plenty of water, snacks, change of clothes, extra socks, light jacket, got my good shoes, a knife and a flashlight, and a couple towels. So I think I've got everything that they recommended, and then plus a few other things. So yeah, I'm going to hang out here in the truck for just a few more minutes, and then we're going to hit the trailhead. And I just want to go ahead and mention here in the intro that since this is a popular trail, there's going to be more people on it. So I am going to film periodically, but it may be without narration, just so I'm not talking around people and disturbing anyone. All right. See you in the next clip. All right, so we have officially hit the trail. Parking lot's over there. On the trail we go, across the first little bridge that goes over the creek right here. Also wanted to go ahead and mention they have sign-ups to go up and stay at the lodge. The sign-ups are, I had to do some research to figure out when, but you just look it up. They do set up the reservations at a certain time, and they fill up quick. So then they have cancellations, and then they also have times you can sign up if there's a cancellation. You know, you'll be on kind of like a backup list. Well, I got this one on the cancellation, and the way that works is someone cancels a reservation, and then they go on Twitter and tweet it out. You know, they have a cabin available on such a date for however many people that the cabin holds. So I had seen this tweet come out several times, and I've seen it several times over the year, but this year I've really been trying to get through. And I was just one of the lucky ones that happened to see it and instantly called. And I got through actually yesterday while I was at work, and called through, and it was still available. Someone actually answered, wasn't busy. And that's how I got set up. Kind of spur of the moment, but it worked out. The weather's supposed to be good. So hopefully all goes well. Mount LeConte, 5 miles. And I do have some guides here, which are $1 a piece. Pretty much seen everything online, so I think I know everything I need to know. So we're gonna pass on that. So far, I'm probably about maybe 3/10 of a mile into the trail, and pretty confident that it was the right move to avoid a crowd to start at sunset instead of waiting till 8:30, I'd say. I mean sunrise, not sunset. I think that was a better move, because whenever I left the truck, there were some people hanging out in the parking lot, but I've only seen 2 people on the trail so far. In the last 5 to 10 minutes, I haven't seen anyone. So far, it's been kind of mostly flat. Just some rocks you had to walk over. Just alongside the creek, as you can hear. We're going to continue on. Also wanted to mention there are several little side areas that you can pull off, I guess, to get out of the way, or got to use the restroom, take a break, whatever you need. There's been several of those. Some of them go back further than others. So far, looking good. The trail's actually kind of widened right here. I have to just walk through a narrow spot. Continuing on. So far, which is still not very far in the trail, I'm kind of hugging this creek right here. It's kind of nice. Totally surrounded by green. It kind of thins and thickens as you go on. So far, I haven't seen anyone else yet. So we're doing good. Almost like a little fall right here on this rock. Like a ramp almost. So real quick, I just want to add, if you don't want to tote your water to start with, there are going to be plenty of places, at least in the first part of the trail, that you can get water. Acquiring some water is not an issue. Also, I finally saw 2 other people. They're just ahead of me. There's shiny streaks on this rock right here. Not sure if that's mica on there or what that is. Kind of getting a little rocky right here. The mountain kind of pans out flat. It's just all rock right here. Last 200 or 300 feet have been pretty wet. Through here. We're coming up on our next bridge. I believe it's the 3rd or 4th so far. Cross over the creek. Eventually we'll separate from it, I believe. It's peaceful out here. Only the sounds of the water so far. Haven't seen any wildlife. No snakes, bears. I've heard birds, but I haven't seen them. Nothing else. So I'm coming up on one of the spots that you probably see. A lot of people take photographs here, selfies. You can walk across the creek down there, probably not even getting your feet totally wet, but where's the fun in that? So we're coming up on another very popular spot. And I'm gonna get to see and do this with no one around. I'm gonna go across this little bridge and go through the little cave / bluff. And right in there, the trail goes up, and it's pretty steep right in there. Steepest part of the trail so far by far. Go across here. Creek's really sticking around. Maybe we never get away from it. Who knows? We'll find out. Up the steps. You got a post here with a cable attached. Steel cable, not a rope. Anchors drove into the side there. Not totally necessary, but just kind of convenient to have. Lots of steps right here. Oh, somebody dropped their gold bar. All right. This rocker here looks like a good place I can stop and have my morning meal. I'm gonna do that. Just in case you're wondering, this is what I'm having. I don't eat much in the morning. All right, so we had our little meal. Now we're continuing on. There's a pretty steep section here. It's got a cable for you if you need it. I have a drop off right here. Not much of one, not too bad, but I don't know. Continue on and see what we see next. Another bridge. So we're starting to move away from the creek. However, I believe this is something that would probably flow pretty steady after a good rain. Trail kind of goes across this here and then back up that way, just beyond this rock. Alright, so the sunshine's actually hitting this part of the trail here. We're kind of going up the mountainside. Not sure what the temperature is where I'm at now, but probably a lot cooler than I feel since we crossed the dry creek bed back there. It's been kind of a shifting elevation game, because before it was kind of minimal. It seemed like that first mile or so maybe it's been kind of a practice or a teaser. So we've kind of made it to a little lookout part here. It's not labeled with a sign or anything, so I don't think this is one of them that's noted, but pretty nice point here. We're definitely in the mountains now. Still a climb to go though. Just got real close to this rabbit before I even seen it. Not a bit scared. Like 7 or 8 feet from me. Curious. Got into another point here that has a cable in place. Mainly just because the rock here is uneven. But carrying on with the climb. See some rock steps and some actual steps up here ahead. Just got past one run of these. This one looks to be much longer than the last one. So we've reached this. I think we're gonna go up there where the people are. You're gonna go through this, and it's gonna be a cave right here. Right up through there where them steps in. Pretty cool. Okay, I was wrong about that. You get up here and it turns back left to go up another hill. Just as you see them going right there. People starting to fill in just a little bit. So we meet the bluff here. And switch to the wide angle shot to give you a little more perspective. This right here is very, very steep. Spot down there where they're stopping is kind of a spot where you take a break, I believe. This is pretty wild, like something you see out of a movie. Alright, we got a sign here with the summit, 2.7 miles. So I want to say this is probably to the summit, it's around the halfway point, or just before it. And that would mean that we're less than 3 miles, 2.5 to 3 miles to the lodge, I believe. I think that's correct. Alright. Some pretty interesting points so far. Interesting stops. Switching from wide angle to the standard just to try and include everything the best I can. The last part I passed through back there was pretty mind-blowing. Might spend a little more time there on the trek back down tomorrow. So we've got this trail here, this kind of a drop off here, covered up by trees, but here's a drop off there. Pretty significant one. We've got a rope here, just in case you need it for safety. So far, just the majority of the ground has been wet. I don't know if that's just typically how it is, or if there has been rain as recent as yesterday or during the night or what have you. It's not an issue. I do have the right shoes and everything, but it's just about everything's wet. A rocky section here. Yeah, boy. Taking a little break before we climb up this here. Also letting a few people pass me too, just so I don't feel like I'm on top of someone or in their way. Trail's kind of flattened out a little bit right here. Just gonna dip down for a second before it goes back on the incline. Kind of gives you a break so you don't have to stop. That's how I look at it anyway. I've seen 2 of these so far. There's probably been more and I just didn't notice, but I'm guessing as you pass this, it counts how many people have hit the trail. I don't know if they can access that remotely somehow, or you have to physically open that up and check it somehow with some of the device that attaches to it, or maybe both. Well, first time I've seen that on a trail somewhere. Interesting. The last 2/10 of a mile or so have been really flat or downhill. I don't know if that's a joke or what, but we'll soon find out. Still just as flat as it has been the last little bit. Going through a little area that's got some pine trees in it. Sun's kind of poking through here on the other side. Overall, it's been a very nice hike so far. Still a good chunk to go, but pretty nice so far. And I forgot to mention earlier, back at the bluff, just before the sign let us know that the Mount LeConte summit was 2.7 miles away, there's a flat spot just underneath the bluff. That's typically, by what another person on the trail told me, a lot of people hike at that part. Day hikers anyway, not ones that are coming to stay up here, will hike to that part and then they turn back from there. A lot of them, especially more serious hikers, they want to hike to the summit and a few other points. But just throwing it out there. Yeah, we got some more steps. Just wanted to point out real quick, I'm probably around, I don't know, maybe 2 miles from the summit or a little less. And I just come across this spot right here. There's really no easy way to identify it, but I started getting some notifications come through on my phone. So up to this point, there was no signal, and I have Verizon. No clue about any of the other carriers, but had no signal until this point right here. Took a little break back there, and while I was sitting down resting, several people passed through. Got kind of a group ahead of me now. One group of 3 or 4, and then
Another one at 4 and a 2 here and there. So far on this whole hike, I've only seen one person besides myself doing this solo. Continuing on over some more rocks. I don't know if the video do it justice, but this right here was one of the steepest little inclines, followed by some more stairs. Rocky path here for the last little bit. Covered in water. Some water kind of running over in places. A little stream going across it. So we're walking up on a nice little stream running off right here. A good place to fill a water bottle if you wanted. I'm good at the moment. And all the way down through here and down through there. Careful on the rocks, very slippery. Pretty nice lookout spot on the trail here. Just continue to go up and up. And even with the being a little winded and tired, you can definitely tell that the temperature has been dropping as we've been climbing. Still got my jacket on, even though I'm sweating a little bit. So right here is a steep drop off. So we're gonna get a second look at this because there's some people right on top of me just about. This is the steepest drop off that's been beside of me up to this point. So I'm walking through this narrow path here. I noticed there's a rock overhanging up there. I'm not sure if that's the summit or if that's just part of the mountain. I'm not sure. Narrow passage here, so I had cable on it the whole time. There were some exposed areas to it, but most of it just covered by brush. All right, here we go, around another curve. All right, just around this corner here, I believe we'll have a nice lookout spot based on the people in front of me's reaction just a second ago. Oh yeah. Wow. Another pretty steep drop off, along with an awesome view. Got some rocks that's kind of scramble up here. Wow. Hiking through some pretty thick pines in this stretch here. Just kind of a casual walk through the trees right now. Pretty flat. Sun's directly hitting the trail now where I'm at. I'm wondering if that's meaning we're getting close. I am tracking the distance I've traveled, but honestly I've just kind of avoided looking at it. So we've reached a sign here that tells us the lodge is 1/10 of a mile to the right, and some other trails are the other way. So we have successfully pretty much made it to the lodge. We're going to continue on and see what we see next. So, still just right before the lodge right here. Overall, I anticipated this to be much more difficult than it actually was. I mean, it was tiring and strenuous, and it was hard. I expected more. I took my time, took breaks, paced myself really well. I think I've got up here in between 3.5 to 4 hours. That's probably including at least 30 minutes of combined breaks total.
Good morning. Good morning. How are y'all?
So the cliff tops is that way, and the lodge is right down here. Shelter straight ahead. Gift shop, check-in, dining hall, potable water, restrooms. We have made it.
Here we go. If not, I'll retake it. Is that an S9?
He's turning into the next
It's
man.
an 8.
All right, so we got about 1.5 hours before I can check in. We're just gonna kind of explore around. There's a spring down this way. We're gonna walk around here and just kind of explore the area. And then maybe an hour or so, or a little less. Let me see if we can get some lunch here. I'm getting pretty hungry. There's a solar panel there. There's quite a few people around the lodge. I've seen some still standing in their cabins, so I'm guessing the checkout. I'm not sure, I don't remember what the checkout time is. It's probably around 11. It's about 20 after 10 right now. This is the view you get from the cliff tops area. So these are the llamas they use to transport supplies up and down the mountain. They were not here when I first got here, but now they are. Looks like there's 8 of them. All right, so I got checked into the cabin. So now we're gonna hike to Myrtle Point. It's about 0.7 miles from where my cabin is. We're gonna go check that out and see the viewpoint from there. The lady at the check-in office told me that the cliff tops point is the best to see the sunset. So we'll check that out later tonight. And I think I'll just about seen everything that's in the general vicinity here. I'll pick back up whenever I reach the point. All right, so on the way to Myrtle Point, there's a little shelter here. I think this is the AT shelter is the name of it. I'm guessing that stands for Appalachian Trail, because the trail does connect somewhere up here. No fires. I'm guessing this, if you were hiking up here and you needed to sleep, you could, or if you just wanted to, maybe you could. I want to say these cables here are for you to lift your food up to keep off the ground so the bears won't smell it or try to get a hold of it. I think that's what that's for. If I'm wrong, just correct me. Leave a comment below and tell me that. All right, continuing on. So we haven't quite reached Myrtle Point yet, but this is the view off to the right side of the trail. It's a pretty awesome view. I guess hikers over a period of time have stacked all these rocks on top of each other. It's pretty neat. So I'm still hiking to Myrtle Point. The previous point that is shown in the clip before last was that they called the high top point. And to get to Myrtle Point, it's actually you actually hike down to get to it. There's a sign for it right here. It's 0.2 miles that way. Let's see what this other is. It's the Appalachian Trail and the Newfound Gap are to the left. And the lodge is back the other way, of course. And this is the Boulevard Trail here. It's another trail that you can hike from. I'm guessing there's a parking lot for it at the bottom, but it's a much longer trail than the Alum. All right, continuing on. So we made it to Myrtle Point. There's a few people up here behind me. We're just gonna do a 360 here. You have a good view all around you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, scoot over. Scoot over. It's gotta be by mom. like 100. Can we do what? Yeah, can we do one where we're facing that way? Trust me, I took it like a hike.
Hiking back to the lodge now from Myrtle Point. Walking back up on this high top point. All right, so it's the next morning. It's around 9 o'clock, and I just checked out. Had breakfast and checked out. Everything was good. Meal last night was good. The meal this morning was good. Really nothing negative to say at all. Only slight criticism I have is there was one group of teenagers that were kind of loud, but when it got dark, they were quiet then. So other than that, everything was good. Overall, I really enjoyed it. As far as the hike, it is tough and strenuous, but there's really not much scrambling or extra difficult things you have to maneuver around or climb over. It's really just the length and the distance. Oh, same thing. It's just the length and the some of the inclines and a lot of steps. That just the amount of everything that classifies it as hard, I would say. If the trail was half the length that it is, I would say that it's moderate, but that's just my opinion. Overall, everything was good. I'd like to do it again later, maybe next year or sometime, and probably try the Trillium Gap Trail or the Boulevard Trail, and possibly stay again, maybe. Yeah, if you have any questions about anything regarding this hike or staying at LeConte Lodge, you can leave a comment below. I do respond to all the questions. Maybe not instantly, but within a couple days, you'll get a response. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. Alright, so I've already filmed the intro. It was in the last clip, but I'm going to throw in a couple extra clips of just the nicest parts of the trail, in my opinion. We're coming off of one drop off here. It's a really nice view. Might be the scariest looking drop off here. It's not that bad. There's a rope here you can hold on to. It's kind of a crowd here right now. It's pretty incredible. I think we're right around Inspiration Point, which is back right around that curve there that you saw in the last clip. Everything's a little different coming back versus going up. Very nice view, especially kind of early in the trail. Down the steps through the bluff. Nice cool breeze in here.